got a question specifically on the childcare package from Lynn Connolly. Let's go to that and then we can hear from the other panellists. Go ahead, Lynn.
The Prime Minister's latest attempt to reform childcare is intended to increase affordability while being paid for by new tax revenues from more parents returning to work, savings already identified by the MYEFO, and crackdowns on rorts. So why has it taken 9 years so far to try and pass any proper childcare legislation? And why is this legislation robbing some children of an early childhood education based on their parents' work choice?
9 years.
I should just make the point that Lynn is the president of Australian Childcare Alliance New South Wales. James, obviously that's a question for you.
Well,
Tony,
9
the
years
system...
and you still can't get it right. I mean, fair go.
Well, we haven't been in government for 9 years, Jackie, as I think you know. The system as it is broken. When Labor tried to fix this in government, they ended up spending a lot more money and not making childcare any more affordable at all. What we're doing is following the Productivity Commission's recommendations of what we should do to fix this problem. And it's about better targeting the money to the people who need it most, and it's about boosting people's productivity and participation in the workforce. One of the best things I think about retargeting family tax benefits into childcare benefits is that it encourages people who want to go to work to be able to go back to work. One of the biggest barriers is the affordability of childcare. Instead of paying the money just for a general household budget, we're effectively repurposing that and giving it to them to help pay for
Can I just quickly go back to Lynn on this? And you said at the end of your question, the legislation's robbing some children of an early childhood education based on their parents' work choice. What do you mean by that exactly?
Well, children don't choose what parents or what families they go to. And children can't help it if their parents can't or choose not to work.
But what part of the legislation are you talking about? Because James said that people on lower incomes will be better off.
Yes, but only a certain number of those people who are working.
They only get 12 hours.
Right.
So at the moment, the children get 24 hours of early childhood education a week, whereas it's going to be
children whose parents are not working, is that right?
That's right, because we have to remember that our children are our future and we need to give them an education, an early childhood education where the best benefits for education come from.
So what happens to children whose parents are not working in the new legislation?
Well, some of them will get 12 hours, and I think some of them don't get any at all.
No, that's not right. Sorry, I have to clarify that, Tony. The minimum available to people who do not work at all is 24 hours a fortnight, and then there is an activity test to access any eligibility beyond that, but it's a very light activity test. It only requires 4 hours work a week to qualify, and that can include volunteering. This is a participation measure. It is unapologetically about participation. And
I'm with Jackie.
Mate,
I'm with Jackie.
You know how many families out there that have been living in public housing where you're in the third and fourth generation? It just doesn't work like that. Why should those kids be paying the penalty being stuck inside those houses? Get them out of there.
They won't be.
Yeah, bullshit.
Okay,
I'm really angry about this. You get those kids out of there.
Kate Ellis, we'll come back to him.
Well, I think the thing that we have to be mindful of is that they are having their access cut. They're having it cut in half. And that some of these children, they might not be in the child protection system, but some of them haven't yet been detected. Some of them are in incredibly dysfunctional households where some people might argue, oh, well, we need to get their parents out there working. Well, how about when we talk about an early childhood system and we talk about a childcare system, we also talk about what's best for children. And what's best for children is you cannot take away the one safe environment that some of these children have. You cannot take away the one environment where they get fed healthy food, that they get looked after, that they might feel some affection. These are incredibly vulnerable children. And I'm not saying this to be obstructionist about the government's childcare changes. I will say on the record right here that I think we need change in our childcare system, that we would absolutely support the government's measures to simplify the system, to roll into a single payment, to put a benchmark price. We will not stand in the way of that. But why? Why are we investing more money and making vulnerable children worse?
OK, I just want to go... Now, James, you do need to respond to that because there does seem to be a bit of unanimity on this side of the panel and from our questioner that vulnerable children are going to be reliant on what their parents do rather than what they currently are entitled to.
Well, there's $1 billion safety net in this package, which ensures that a minimum amount of childcare is available to people in that situation. But the government is absolutely unapologetic about requiring participation for above and beyond that. Because it is in the
we should
best
leave those
interest
kids in
of
that
children
household. That's
to live in a
rubbish.
home where their parents do work or are involved in the community or are volunteering. That is a good thing. That is good for young children.
That is
and
a
we are
really
not apologetic about
view to
that.
take,
Yeah,
right?
that's-
No, it's not privileged view.
It is.
It's what the data says. It's what the
It's a
evidence
privileged
says.
view to
It's not
take.
privileged at all.
You know what? This is the
No, I'm
problem
sorry.
with not
I'm
having-
sorry.
This is the problem with not having enough diversity in government, right? Because there are a whole bunch of people that don't face these problems, being like, you know what's good for people? What we think
No,
is good
it's
for
what the
people.
data shows is good for people, Yasmin. It's what the evidence shows.
I'm going to...
It's not true.
Quickly, I'd like to hear...
very
Luke has been very
silver spoon
quietly
stuff.
listening to this, and I suppose what you